Putin would be arrested at summit, South Africa warns. We have to. New AI decoder can translate brainwaves into text. IBM to pause hiring for jobs that AI could do. IBM. Warning of ChatGPT threat sparks 38% rout in Edtech stock. Chinese who reported on COVID to be released. Zimbabwe plans to launch digital currency backed by gold. Germany sets the new standard for cheap national mass transit. Italians are upset about a strange new tourism ad.
Hello, I'm Wade Lee. Thank you for joining us on Funday News. It is Wednesday, May 3rd, and here are your top stories. According to leaks to local press, South Africa officials feel an obligation to arrest Russian President Vladimir Putin on behalf of the International Criminal Court if he attends a diplomatic summit. A South Africa official told the Sunday Times, a Johannesburg-based outlet, "There is no option not to arrest Putin if he comes here. We have to arrest him." South Africa will host the BRICS summit in August, a bloc of developing countries historically dominated by Russia and China, which includes Brazil and South Africa.
Putin drew an indictment for war crimes in Ukraine last month when the International Criminal Court, ICC, prosecutors and United Nations investigators issued separate findings that Russian officials have orchestrated the forced deportation of Ukrainian children. That arrest warrant puts South African President Cyril Ramaphosa in a difficult position because South Africa is treaty-bound to support the ICC. The South African official said, "The only option we have is for him to connect via Teams or Zoom from Moscow."
Scientists have developed a system that can read a person's mind and reproduce the brain activity in a stream of text, relying on a semantic decoder similar to the ones that power OpenAI's ChatGPT. For this study, participants in the experiment listened to podcasts while the AI transcribed their thoughts into text. Researchers use fMRI machine scans to measure brain activity. They said, "We're getting the model to decode continuous language for extended period of time with complicated ideas."
The proof that you're seeing is available in words.
The study provides some examples of the decoder in action. In one case, a test subject heard, and consequently thought the sentence, "I didn't know whether to scream, cry or run away. Instead I said, 'Leave me alone, I don't need your help.' Adam disappeared." The decoder reproduced this part of a sentence as "started to scream and cry, and then she just said, 'I told you to leave me alone, you can't hurt me anymore, I'm sorry,' and then he stormed off." A non-invasive method typically outputs single words or short sentences.
International Business Machines Corp. Chief Executive Officer Arvind Krishna said the company expects to pause hiring for roles it thinks could be replaced with artificial intelligence in the coming years. He said hiring in back office functions will be suspended or slowed. He said, "I could easily see 30% of that getting replaced by AI and automation over a 5-year period." An IBM spokesperson said that would mean roughly 7,800 jobs lost. Tasks such as moving employees between departments will likely be fully automated.
You all know them. Search engines, apps, chatbots.
IBM currently employs about 260,000 workers and continues to hire for software development and customer-facing roles. But as artificial intelligence tools have captured the public imagination for their ability to automate customer service, write text and generate code, many observers have worried about their potential to disrupt the labor market. Krishna's plan marks one of the largest workforce strategies announced in response to the rapidly advancing technology.
The share of Chegg Incorporated plummeted as much as 38% after warning that the ChatGPT tool is threatening the growth of its homework help services. One of the most notable market reactions yet to sign that generative AI is upending industries. The company, which offers online guidance for students taking tests and writing essays, also gave revenue and profit forecasts for the current quarter that fell well short of analysts' estimates. CEO Dan Rosenzweig said the impact of ChatGPT began to be felt this spring.
He said, "In the first part of the year, we saw no noticeable impact from ChatGPT on our new account growth and we were meeting expectations on new signups. However, since March we have seen a significant spike in student interest in ChatGPT. We now believe it's having an impact on our new customer growth rate." However, Rosenzweig said that retention rates of existing subscribers remain high, and he vowed to embrace AI aggressively and immediately.
I always needed time on my own. I never thought I'd be here.
I take your blessings with your heartaches too. It's so easy and so wonderful to know it's you.
学习，一切从今天开始。Funday 英语。
Chinese authorities were preparing Sunday to release a man who disappeared 3 years ago after publicizing videos of overcrowded hospitals and bodies during the COVID-19 outbreak. A relative and another person familiar with his case said Fang Bing was scheduled to be released Sunday. One of them said Fang was sentenced to 3 years in prison for picking quarrels and provoking trouble, a vague charge traditionally used against political dissidents.
3 years ago, Fang Bin and other members of the public who were dubbed citizen journalists posted details of the pandemic in early 2020 on the internet and social media, embarrassing Chinese officials who faced criticism for failing to control the outbreak. The last video Fang, a seller of traditional Chinese clothing, posted on Twitter was of a piece of paper reading, "All citizens resist, hand power back to the people." The Associated Press said that it could not independently confirm his release.
Zimbabwe will launch a digital currency next month by introducing tokens that are backed by gold reserves and can be transferred between people and businesses as a form of payment. The country's central bank said last Friday the move is aimed at shoring up Zimbabwe's faltering national currency, the Zimbabwe dollar, which is fast depreciating amid year-long economic woes in the African nation. People will be able to buy the tokens through banks and make transactions using e-gold wallets or e-gold cards held by banks.
Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe Governor John Mangudia said the new tokens will be fully backed by physical gold held by the bank and will go into circulation on May 8. People can buy the tokens and use them as a way to save their money or conduct person-to-person and person-to-business transactions and settlements. Mangudia said international gold prices determined by the London Bullion Market Association will dictate the local pricing of the tokens.
Germany starts one of the most affordable public transit offers anywhere in the world on Monday, setting a new benchmark to encourage consumers to ditch their cars and putting pressure on Berlin to make the shift work. For just €49 or $54 a month, holders get unlimited travel on all city buses, subways, and trams in every municipality across the country. That means with one ticket, you can ride buses along the shore of Lake Constance on the Swiss border and traverse Hamburg's harbor on the North Sea.
Local and regional trains are included in the so-called Deutschland ticket, but not faster intercity services, as the idea is to encourage people to reroute short-distance travel. The new ticket, available only by subscription, is priced well below normal monthly rates. To offset initial estimates of lost revenue, the federal government will provide €1.5 billion a year, and Germany's 16 states have agreed to contribute the same amount. Any additional costs will also be split.
A controversial marketing campaign by Italy's tourism ministry is grabbing attention for what seems like all the wrong reasons. The $9.94 million marketing campaign, Open to Meraviglia, Open to Wonder, is fronted by a digital rendition of the Roman goddess Venus, showing as a virtual influencer. The digital rendition of Venus also comes with an Emily in Paris-style Instagram account. But the Ad Veneer Italia 23 page features photos of Venus posing in front of some idyllic stock footage that some aren't even in Italy.
The campaign has been ridiculed by Italians on social media who say it cements tired stereotypes of the country. Art historian Tommaso Montanari called it grotesque and said it was an obscene waste of money. Florence's mayor Dario Nardella said that this is emblematic of a wider cultural problem. But tourism minister Santange said the project sells our nation in an unseen way that has never been done before. She told a local radio station that she had seen the memes that the campaign is generating online.
Let's take a look at today's vocabulary from the news of AI Decoder. Number 1, reproduce. 再生产,再制造. The atmosphere of the novel is successfully reproduced in the movie. Number 2, transcribe. 记录,抄录. The interview was recorded and then transcribed. Number 3, semantics. 语言,语义的. You don't want to enter into a semantic debate. And that's all for today's Funday news. Be sure to tune into Funday news from Monday to Friday and click the link below now to join Funday for free. I'm Wei Li, your host. I'll see you next time.